Hi tankers, before we start this guide on Panther tanks, I recently posted a salty comment in the community section of this channel that I'll be quitting the game. Well, after some thought, I think I'll be partly quitting. I'm quitting tiers 9 and 10, the economy is too bad, it doesn't work for me as a free-to-play player. I also have 11 tier 8s, but will only be playing 3 of them, the rest will be collecting dust unfortunately. I struggle to get consistency at higher level to earn enough credits, plus the SPG, the artillery, is leaving me very frustrated and angry. At those tiers, although the rate of fire for artillery is slower, the damage they do is ridiculous. I'm also sick of hull down tanks that are impossible to penetrate from the front, even when firing the gold ammo. I'm now running World of Tanks from an external hard drive, as I need to create hard drive space for other games. This external drive is one of those older types, a HDD drive, not an SDD drive like on my computer system. So this is going to affect the graphics, the look of the garage and interface, and some of the load times for the screens. I will be continuing to do the odd guide on vehicles in World of Tanks, but it will be only occasionally. Streams and most future content will be on another game along with Armoured Warfare. I'll make an announcement soon. I'm currently playing a game and deciding whether that will be a main game for the channel, just for an interim period at least. Right, that's out of the way, let's take a look at the Panthers in the game. We're looking at 2 Panthers today, a good Panther at tier 6 and a bad Panther at tier 7. I was venturing down the German medium tech tree line for the Panther at tier 7 and realised when I finally purchased it from the tech tree, I shouldn't have bothered. In fact, I never got to the top tier gun whilst grinding with the tank in battles. I played with the stock historically correct gun, the L70. This is the top tier gun on the tier 6 VK3002M, otherwise known as the Manther, the prototype built by MAN, M-A-N, an engineering company in Germany that developed the Panther. The VK was a good tank, but I've sold it because I now have this tank, the Bretagne Panther, or Bretagne Panther as I call it. The Bretagne Panther is based on a Panther tank captured by the French and put into service as they fought back to regain their country from German occupation during the Second World War. There are 3 tanks that are basically copy-paste versions of the same tank at tier 6, the VK3002M, this one, the Bretagne Panther, and the Pudel, the Polish version. They play the same, they have a couple of stats that are only marginally different. For example, comparing just the Bretagne Panther and the Manther has more ammo capacity, which would benefit longer battles, but when does this ever happen in World of Tanks? And 79 rounds is more than enough on the Bretagne Panther anyway. The Manther has a little better resistances to terrain, might be a little better in outmanoeuvring opponents in close combat, and the Manther has slightly better camo values, but still bad anyway. The differences are minimal, and so I just stuck with the Bretagne Panther and sold the Manther to progress onto the disappointing tier 7 Panther. Here is a photo of what the Panther looked like in real life. This is the Alf's D variant, the Bretagne Panther was an Alf's A. But you can see they are very similar and accurate with the look of the Bretagne Panther tank, similar shaped turret and length on the barrel of the gun. Now take a look at the tier 7 Panther with all the top modules and compare this to the historic photo of the Panther in real life. The turret and gun are incorrect on the tier 7 version. The turret has a different shape and the gun barrel is too long. The Panther in the game is using the Schmaltum turret. This was a prototype turret that would have gone on future series of the Panther but never went into production or development. The longer barreled L100 gun was supposedly a proposal by Hitler, who wanted longer range and increased penetration on his Panther tanks, but again never went into development. So we have one of the most famous and best performing tanks in World War II, and WarGaming decided to make it look different to what it should have looked like on the battlefield. WarGaming supports the Bovington Tank Museum, which is all about tank history, and yet they don't seem to care about historical accuracy in their game. But the looks weren't the reason why I got rid of the Panther. The shockingly low alpha damage on the gun is the reason. 135 damage per shot. Yeah, good luck with that. I never got to use the gun because I only played around 20 battles with the historically accurate L70 gun, which has the same alpha damage but lower penetration on the shells. I had some nice battles when matchmaking was kind, but at 2 tiers down, very difficult. This is a sign of what's to come with the top tier gun. 135 damage on the Panther's gun compared with even just a bad medium tank at tier 9, let's say the pattern tank, the Christmas reward tank, That has 400 alpha damage on the gun. It's no contest, isn't it? The L100 gun is rapid firing and has amazing penetration on the shells, 198 penetration on the standard shell. But I think there are too many situations where you're just going to get steamrolled by the opposition. You'll have to work really hard to get a good battle against tier 9 tanks. Lots of retreating and repositioning to keep yourself at distance. This will be difficult for many players. The L100 gun on the Panther looks like it will have exceptional handling and be brilliant for sniper play, but it really needs a buff on the damage per shot, and so I sold the tank. So I'm going to show you two battles, one with the Bretagne Panther and the other in the tier 7 Panther, but using the L70 gun. The Panther battle shows that you can have a good game with the stock gun in decent matchmaking, which is not bad for grinding the tank to get to the top tier L100 gun. Let's take a quick look at the Bretagne Panther stats. I'm going to be using Skill4L2U's website. I really recommend this website. Good for seeing reviews on the tanks. You can also see links to videos of skill playing that tank if you want to see a Unicum player playing it. And it's got recommendations for loadouts and crew perks as well. Really useful website. I'll just look at the Bretagne Panther stats for this video. I won't look at the tier 7 Panther. I just wanted to show you the firepower on that, what it was lacking. This tank, the Bretagne Panther, or the Tech Tree VK3002M, is the tank I recommend that you get. I don't want to make this video too long, so we're just going to focus on the Bretagne Panther. If WarGaming buff the alpha damage on the tier 7 Panther's L100 gun, then it will be a good tank. Until then, I wouldn't recommend it. I would at least like the damage output to be something around 150 to 180 damage per shot. Even that's low, but it does have a good rate of fire. So Bretagne Panther's firepower, 135 alpha damage, which combined with a decent rate of fire is acceptable at tier 6. Penetration is low on the standard shells. You need to fire the gold at times with this tank. Another reason I got rid of the German Manther is that this Bretagne Panther version is premium and better for earning credits, minimising credit losses. Dispersion is okay, and with equipment you can turn this into a decent sniper tank, but the tank can be versatile at times depending on matchmaking, which I will explain when looking at the survivability in a moment. The DPM is pretty decent, near 2000, which again can be boosted with the rammer equipment. I really like the rate of fire on this tank, feels comfortable to play. On to the survivability. The armour doesn't look anything special, but you can angle the tank like a heavy. The tank features sloped armour, and against lower tier tanks you will bounce shells quite often. Keep the tank moving, wriggling or rocking on the spot, and you'll increase your chances of a bounce. You also have a decent amount of hit points for a medium tank at tier 6. So if you do get good matchmaking, you can be more aggressive and push forward rather than sitting at the back of the map. However, starting the battle in a sniper position might be best until some of the enemy have been destroyed and there are fewer guns on the battlefield. Camping throughout the battle is best suited when facing the overpowering tier 8 tanks. Speed is very good at 55 km per hour, which is good for pushing, retreating and relocating, again adding to the versatility of the tank and making sure that you stay involved in the battle. Traverse and gun traverse is pretty good, however I did struggle with fast enemy light tanks circling around this tank. View range is not great and you may want to boost this with optics equipment. Concealment is surprisingly not good at all. This makes it difficult to snipe behind bushes. Often as soon as you fire you are spotted. The tier 7 German Panther has poor concealment too. This is not good for the preferred sniper style of play. Snipers usually take advantage of the push mechanics in the game to stay invisible to the enemy. Okay, enough of the stats, let's watch my two battles in the Panthers. First battle in the Bretagne Panther tier 6, we're on Ghost Town. Both battles will feature this map by coincidence. I've got nice matchmaking, I've got tier 6s, so I'm going to show you how you can be a little more aggressive, a bit more advanced. You don't have to camp right at the back of the map when you get this kind of matchmaking. But I'm not going to be too aggressive because I don't have many numbers coming over to this flank. I've just got the VK, the light tank. No one else is coming this way, so I am advancing but not too far, not too aggressive. I don't know how many of the enemy are going to be on this flank. I'm looking at the map at this time. I'm not seeing how many enemy are on the other flank. So I need to be a little bit cautious here. So this will demonstrate that you can sort of snipe, but like snipe at medium range. You don't have to be right at the back of the map. So I'm just staying around this area, being a bit cautious, just poking over because I don't know what's coming this way. We have an enemy light tank on this flank, but there could be others following in. At least my VK 2801-105 has got out there and tried to do a bit of spotting and get involved. But my super chaffy teammate is not really very helpful being at the back there. We've got a Type 58 that should be around here as well. And here's a Sherman, an Easy 8. I managed to get that hit there. Take another shot, but this shows you that the pen on this standard shell's not the greatest. But with this being a tier 6 matchmaking, I thought, you know what, I'm going to just fire the standard shells. Try not to fire gold. I missed that other shot there on the IKV. That was a bad shot there, it wasn't down to the gun. This L70 gun I really like, it's really comfortable to play. I even liked it on the tier 7 when the matchmaking was nice against other tier 7s. It works well, it's a really nice gun. Rapid firing, not big alpha damage, but the rate of fire is adequate for the tank. And makes up for the low alpha. So it gets a bit boring here, I'm sort of waiting around. I don't want to push because I just don't know what's coming my way. I'm going to wait around for a little bit. I really needed that super chaffy to get out there and try and do a bit of spotting, but you get players that just don't want to take any risks, and they're probably not suited to playing light tanks, to be honest. You really should be trying to get out there. Sitting at the back of the map with a light tank is not great for the team. So that forces me to be a bit more cautious here. I've got to wait. Yes, it's boring, but you know, I don't want to be killed straight away. I don't want to suicide. So I'm just going to wait it out for a little bit. If there's a lot coming down this flank, then I'm in trouble. I probably won't survive very long. But I was quite fortunate. They didn't advance. There's 3 of them. But they're not pushing. They've decided to focus on the centre of the map, which gives me an opportunity to advance now. I do take a chance because there could have been another tank parked at the back, could have taken hits on me. But there's no one there, there's just those 3. And here's one of them, there's the IKV. Bad shot again from me there, I didn't fully aim, kind of rushed it a little bit because I wanted to get the shot quick. But I do get the second one and take the IKV out. Now I can't see where anybody else is apart from I did see the T-52 in the centre there. He took a shot at me, and that shows you that this tank does have a little bit of armour when you've got tier 6 matchmaking. You can bounce. It was only against the T-52, but I kept the tank moving forward and that helped me bounce that shell there. But I've moved back now, I don't want to get spotted, and we're going to have to wait again. I can't see anyone on this flank, I don't know what's around, I'm just going to have to wait it out again. I've now got the super chaffy, now trying to advance. It's a bit late now, but never mind. But he does come, he's coming down my flank now. And a Panzer 4 pushes forward. I wasn't quite sure what the hell he was doing, it looked like he wanted to attack and then just gave up. He must have got spotted, was out in the open and then just gave up. It's either that or he deliberately wanted to give his tank away, I don't know. But it allowed me to get a couple of flanking shots. I'll take it, thank you very much. And again, I'm waiting around. My super chaffy has now spotted the Panzer 4 Schmalten. I'm going to try and have a crack at him. I take a shot, this time didn't pen. Again, perhaps if it had been firing a gold that would have penetrated, but I do get a hit on the T-52 and also pick up some spotting. Then I have a bit of a trade, and I probably traded a little bit too much. This is like the sort of mistakes I can make where I sort of trade a little bit too much with tanks. But I trade with the Cromwell. I get a lot of damage, it's taking me over 1,000 damage now, and I'm pretty happy with 1,000 damage for a tier 6 tank, to be honest. I always feel I've had a solid battle. When I've done over 1,000 damage at tier 6, but it did show you my mistakes that I can make. I overtrade sometimes and it took a lot of my hit points away, but I picked up a lot of spotting as well, so I kind of got the bonus of getting involved and having a bit of trade there. So it's a pretty good battle. Can I get a few more hits? Well, we'll see. Battle's going to be over very soon now. It's becoming a bit one-sided. So there's the Boozer in the centre there. I want to take a shot, but he's disappeared. I'm just a little bit cautious now. I sort of go back into cover. I'm waiting for enemy to be spotted. And there's another Panzer. And I'm just waiting. Is he going to push out and give me the shot? I'm aiming now, pre-aiming now. Get one shot. Get another. Into the side there. And that's 1,467 damage, which I'm more than happy with at tier 6, plus all the spotting. It's nearly a 2,000 combined damage battle. And that's pretty good for me for tier 6, I like that. That just shows that the gun's quite nice, good handling on the gun, good rate of fire, feels very comfortable, nice tank. And I really do recommend getting yourself a tier 6 Panther. You can get the tech tree one, the VK3002M if you don't have the premium ones, either this one or the Pudel. There wasn't much else that happened in this battle here. We won the battle, I couldn't chase anything else down, so I ended up with 1,467 damage. Second battle, and it's Ghost Town again. This time we're in assault mode. I'm in my tier 7 Panther, but I've got the same gun. This is the stock gun on the Panther, the L70. I've got favourable matchmaking this time. I'm top tier, I've got tier 5s. So I've got to really try and make this gun work. This was me trying to grind for the L100 gun. But I'm going to show you that this L70 can still work because, you know, you've got tier 5s and 6s to go up against. You know that it worked on the Bretagne Panther. So it should still work on this tier 7 Panther. The only problem is when you're going up against tier 7s. Now this was a nice close battle. I did have a good battle again here. Just want to show you the nice handling on this gun again. So I take a shot there. Over the top, that was probably poor aim from me. So I'm just waiting to see if these two light tanks push over again. And again, I've gone to the flank. I've not gone straight into the town. I've not advanced too far forward. I want to make this gun work from a bit of distance. So I'm going to take another shot now. Ricochet on that one. Get in my range now. Take another shot. Get the hit. And another. So that just demonstrates the nice handling of this gun. If I miss, it's usually my bad aim. It's not down to the gun that's missing. It's just me, you know, not aiming that well or not fully aiming. But there just demonstrates that the handling on this gun is very nice on this L70. Really like this gun. And a very nice rate of fire as well. So I'm going to wait around for a little bit, see if there's more targets. And there's another one. It's the Biss again. He's poked over. I get another hit. Aim another one, but that time just over the top. At some point I think I'm going to have to change location because there's not a lot of enemy on this flank. If they're not going to push, then it's time to think about going somewhere else on the map. So I can either go to the town centre or I could go all the way to the other flank because there's more enemy on the other flank. But this is assault mode and sometimes you get the enemy pushing for the base. They want to capture straight away, and that's what happens in this battle. And I'm starting to see there's a lot of enemy in the town now, so I'm sort of in two minds. Do we go to the other flank, which would take a long time to travel across, or would it be better to go into the town? And I make the decision to go into town here. I feel that going to the town would be better because the enemy could cap quickly. And I'm going to show that this tank can get into closer range with this gun when the matchmaking is a little bit nicer. You can still make it work. You don't have to camp right at the back. I also have to meet a couple of tier 7s. There's an IS and a Tiger 1. So I need to try and decap now because the enemy are capping. Someone's got to try and hit one of these enemy tanks to stop the cap. I'm trying to do that now. I'm taking a risk by poking right round. I don't know how many tanks are there, about 3 or 4. But I see a Wolverine poking out there and I really chance it here because I'm really poking right out around the corner. But I managed to get the hit on there. I'm just trying to decap all the time now. I think there's a T-34 that comes across. Take the shot, just miss that one. But I do get the second shot in. But someone's got a decap. They're capping now. Only 30 seconds to go. I get another hit in there. And that was on a VK3002M. That's the tier 6 Manther. So I'm doing alright for myself. But I really want to try and push for the win. Because remember, I'm grinding for the gun, the L100. I want the research, the XP. Having a good battle's not enough for me. I need wins, because wins get you bonus XP. I get a kill there, T-34. But I also take a massive hit from the IS, who I don't think he's using the top tier gun. He must have the stock gun on it. Because if he'd used the top tier, he'd probably done me for about 300 damage. I wisely, because I know the IS is there now, which is the tier 7 heavy, I wisely decide to relocate. I want to see if I can sort of get into the side or round the back of that IS. See what I can do here by changing the angle of attack. Don't really want to go head to head with the IS. I've been spotted. And there's a pesky FSV, Scheme A, wheeled British medium tank. Very pesky and annoying for me. Couldn't quite get the hit in the side there. And a bounce there on the IS as well. So that shows you this armour can bounce. It's not the most reliable, but sometimes it does get some nice bounces and you can block a lot of damage. Which I did so there. I blocked 160 from the IS. Twice actually. Twice! And it must be because I'm angling the tank a little bit there, you see. You know, I'm not straight on it facing him. The tank was angled a little bit and I blocked 2 shots. And got a hit in on the IS and picked up some spotting as well. So, maybe a bit lucky there, but it just showed you there is some armour on these Panthers if you can angle the tank well. So again, I'm thinking about trying to get in on the flanks, trying to get right round. There's that IS, there's the VK. Can I get right round getting some flanking shots? I'm targeting the IS mainly, because it will be slower. But can these standard shells penetrate the IS? I may have to switch to gold. There's that FSV again. He's annoying. He gets a hit on me. I got a hit on him. We traded there, and then he's driven off quickly. But here's the IS presenting the side of his tank, and it proves that I don't need the gold here. I didn't need the gold ammo. And I managed to finish the IS off. So that's a nice bit of XP there because that's a tier 7. And I managed to get the kill. But I really need the win. That's what gives me the bonus XP. Can I get it? So I'm going after this FSV and I'm in a bit of a rush to get him because he's fast and I missed my shot. Probably the worst play I made here. I made a really bad mistake because then there's the Tiger 1 coming in. I did get a hit on the Tiger 1. But I took a big whack back, and it's not good for me. I can't. And this again, demonstrating some of my poor play. Sometimes I'm getting into a trade now. You don't want to get into a trade with a Tiger 1 when you're just in a Panther, and he finishes me off. And unfortunately, my Tiger 1, he gets killed off too. We don't get the win. It was a nice close battle. These are the battles I like though when it's closer. Unfortunately, I didn't get the win, and this is where I need the XP to get that top tier gun. And unfortunately, I got a defeat, but it was a nice battle for me. I did about 1,500 damage again, and some spotting, 3 kills as well. So I can't grumble too much. And I messed up at the end again, trading too much. But there you go. So let's look at the Panthers. I recommend you get one of the tier 6 Panthers, either the VK3002M from the tech tree, or one of the Bret or Pudel premium Panthers. The Bret and Pudel are usually on offer at some point during a token store event, so you could pick one up for free. The VK will lose credits because of the low penetration on the standard shell, and gold ammo will be necessary when you're bottom tiered. With the tier 7 Panther, me personally, being a below average player, I will hold off for now from purchasing it again from the tech tree. I will wait to see if WarGaming are going to review the Panther line. You never know, they might buff it in the future. I might get it again later in the year, even if it receives no buffs. I still like the look of it with the Schmalten turret and the long barrel gun. I think if you're an above average player, you can make this tank work with just 135 alpha damage with the high pen and good rate of fire. Okay, that's it for this video. See you next time.